Oh my god, first and hydrate. What the hell? Okay. Ta-da! I will do the hydrate. And congrats on being first. I mean, I noticed as soon as they came in, I just couldn't react to them. Alright. Same difference? Is it? Alright. So last time, I think I said I was gonna stop at the beginning of this season, and then I kept playing on accident. But there are so many new colonists and shit. Like, look at this one. What the fuck? They are so cute. I think I'm going for a romance with the dog boy, which I'll show you in a second. But apparently this guy's romance path is fun too. But this fucker is the dog boy. I have no engineering though. So, I don't know. Dog boy looks wild, right? I thought he was a cat boy from here. I was like, damn, they put a fucking cat boy in this game. No, they did not. They put the dog boy. Ayo! I don't know if he likes flowers. Oh. I have everything I need. First month of pollen. Okay. Does that get added to my list of knowledge about him? Yes. It's dust though. Pollen already passed. Can't even fucking... You're not even allowed to gift him anything. You can only give... you can only give hugs. Debated by the furry? Is he a furry if it was like biologically chosen before he was born? I can understand if he was a furry if like he chose it. But if his parents chose it for him, does that make them the furries? Furry by birthright? No! Aw. You motherfucker. Assigned Catboy at birth. I guess. Except not Catboy. Hello! When you report for surveying duty, Nomi Nomi is here. It's their first day as a surveyor. They smile widely when they see you. I thought I was reading it wrong. No, it's just worded weird. They smile widely when they see you, smiling exuberantly. Oh, you two know each other already, Utopia says, looking to you then Nomi. That'll make this easier. So Lane, I'd like you to keep an eye on Nomi while you're out there, Utopia continues. I'm going to assign you to the same regions for the next little while. Just make sure they don't wander into a nest of stat bladders, okay? Yay! Nomi cheers and gives you a high five. As Utopia explains to Nomi Nomi and some other new Helios surveyors about the surveying tools, Nomi starts to get bored and wanders a little away from the group. You see it happening, but are powerless to stop them from tripping and nearly landing into a nest of Hopeye eggs. They're just about to crash into the delicate spun glass cocoon when Utopia materializes as if out of nowhere and scruffs them by the back of the collar. Nomi, pay attention! Nomi giggles like they don't even realize the danger of being stampeded by the upset Hopeyes beginning to gather around. Utopia ushers them back to the group before things can get tramply. Nomi asks a million questions about the eggs. Are they edible? Do they have hard shells or soft? What is the cocoon made out of? How long until they hatch? Utopia sighs. Just get out of here, you two, she says, before the cute little varmints turn ugly. Damn. Chief Surveyor Utopia stops you and Diz near the depot. Feel that, she asks. You can kind of feel an ominous, distant thumping, pulsing regularly through the ground. If you stand still, you can feel it vibrate up into your own body, too, like a massive global pulse. Utopia says, checking a readout on her hollow palm. I reckon it's naturally occurring, she concludes, but it's giving me the willies all the same. You two better check it out. Mind you stick together and take readings on the way in case it's dangerous. You and Diz look at each other excited. You follow the thumping, now an audible noise, growing louder west, until you've triangulated its location. You know you're getting close, but it sounds like it's coming from all around you. And your instruments aren't precise enough to help. What do you think it is? Diz spreads his hands. Aliens, he says seriously. Well, we are on an alien planet. So this is who I was romancing, and, like, I don't not want to romance him, but he was kind of mean about my mom dying and saying, like, well, we all deserve to die. And then I was like, I don't like you anymore. Hi, Destroyer. How are you today? I can probably do better than this. Oh, maybe not. Could have gotten 33. Probably. You find a machine? An ancient, broken down machine, like a small pyramid shaped. What do you have to do in this game? So there's a bunch of different skill checks that'll pop up, and they're card games, and you have to try to hit whatever the total score is. Some of them are just single rounds, some of them are a total of 3 rounds. It depends. These things on the side here are my skill levels. I am very clearly focused on the red and the yellow, not so much the blue. Blue is mental, yellow is social, red is physical. And there are 13 seasons in a year. You get from years, I think, 10 until 19 to live your life and get as much skills as you can. And it's from then a visual novel. So it's just like a... Oh, they're so cute! I love my fishing one. Look at the angry go. I also love that one. That's my cat. Her name is Luna. My sister drew that one for me when I first got affiliate. I sent her a picture of Luna and she just traced it over it. And there is a picture of her looking exactly like that. She is usually just eyes. Anyways, it's... You interact. You've started out life on a alien planet. Well, you were born during transit, but at the age of 10, and then you're trying to make friends, survive, maybe romance people. And people die. That's a big part of this game. My mom died, but each run can be different. There are people that you can make everybody live if you do things right. It's just really difficult. You find a machine, an ancient broken down machine, like a small pyramid-shaped building made from some kind of dark stone or bone that looks almost like it grew that way. Except it isn't broken. It's just so very old and overgrown, it looks more like a pile of rubble and roots than a building or engine or whatever it was. Still, a thumping noise comes from inside of it. The vibrations are strong here, making your guts feel weird. You don't notice it at first, but there's a curious path on the ground moving away from the machine, a line half a meter wide where the dirt is a little more worn and bare. It heads off in a straight line to the west, or coming from the west. Could animals have made this path, or the thumper itself? Is there an achievement for everyone perishing? I don't know if there's an achievement for it, but I do know that everyone can die. And also there's one you could do that kills all alien life on this planet. And there's ones, I'm not going for a specific one. I am doing a straight blind playthrough. But I know that there's like a couple of bad ends. Marvel at it. You run your hand over its pitted, vibrating surface. How could something so unbelievably old still work? It's definitely not natural. You can even see something like writing carved deep into the not-quite rock. Diz starts making the unts, unts, unts noise under his breath to the beat of the thumper. It's a pretty sick beat. Ooh, that sounds like a fun achievement to go for, if you know that's what you're going for. My issue is that I didn't want people to die. They just did. Eventually you head back to share your findings with Utopia. Totally an alien civilization, Diz insists. Utopia scratches her head. I suppose, maybe, she says. You said it looked ancient, right? Perhaps there could have been another civ here long ago. We have found other signs, but nothing active like this. It seems to be pointing west or receiving something. She snaps her fingers. There's some right ugly ridge lines out there that have kept us from checking it out. Jesus. There's some right ugly ridge lines out there that have kept us from checking that direction, but we got gliders and motivation. That's half the battle. She makes a note in her holopalm. I'll open up the western resting ridges for surveyors, she says, then grins. Who? Say that 3 times fast. I think she's supposed to be Australian because of the way she says certain words. Diz looks at you curiously. Sure, if you're scared, he says. The question that makes or breaks any game. So there's not fishing, unfortunately, in this game. Or at least there isn't that I've discovered. But there's plenty of running around. I am going to apologize. There's going to be an ad, so I'm just going to try to run through and, like, collect things off the ground. And not click any of the actual events. That's the plan. The ad should have started, but if you got a pre-roll, they might not have. Although there shouldn't have been a pre-roll. During Overwatch streams, I try to run ads in between games. You might miss some talking, but realistically, most people don't watch Overwatch streams for the talking in between matches. any case, the ad should be done. And so we're gonna do this yellow. Nice. You spot an enormous, unfamiliar flower. Large, waxy petals join to form a basin brimming with goopy yellow gunk. I never get ads because I'm always subbed. That also works. The entire thing has a sticky, melting look. The awful smell of the juice permeates the area. It's like something died in there. I'm gonna wait and watch. One of the nearby bushes start rustling. Oh, another bush bub. It approaches the plant and dips an arm into it, bringing it to its face and licking it. Then it sticks its head right in there and drinks. You try not to gag. Ugh. Don't do that! It scared me. After some long, deep gulps, the bush bub wanders away, looking slightly tipsy. Put your hand in and feel around. You tentatively slip your hand in a little ways and feel around. Suddenly the plant contracts and sucks your arm into the elbow. No! Ew, ew, ew. Eh. You panic expecting the sting of digestive juices, but it's just warm. Gross, but oddly pleasant. There seems to be nothing else in there. You plant your feet on either side of the flower and pull your arm out with a mighty slurp. Your hand smells awful, but feels all tingly and kind of stronger? All your noise attracts a nearby bush bub. It comes scurrying out of the bush, growling and cackling at you. Defend yourself! It's not what I want. Of course, choose violence. No, I'm not choosing violence. I'm defending myself. There is a difference. That's probably as good as I can get. Oh, it's not at all. I could have gotten 38. No, I disagree. Incorrect. The funny creature rears up and stomps the ground intimidatingly, but by reading its body language, you realize it's just trying to move you away from the big flower. You back away slowly, talking softly to it. Good, bush bub. You can keep your gross, stinky flower. It's all yours, buddy. Hey! Hell yeah, now I can add another gear. I want Mars's. Do I want Mars's jacket?
Damn, how powered you get? Like Futurama. Your back still hurt? Fucked up? I was in there.
I'm gonna go with that layout. Ooh. Oh, I can't run through all the way. And there was a little yellow thing where Nomi Nomi was. And yellow is important quests. So you gotta do those. So I have max perception, which means I can just run past events. Previously, you had to actually do these to move past them. And I will say, it's been very nice not having to do that and just being able to run around and collect everything first. And see what's out there first so I can decide on which quests I want to do. There she is. Or they are. You hear Nomi shouting for help nearby. Run! You sprint to the sounds of distress. Nomi seems to have fallen headfirst into some kind of Nomi-sized flower? Is it eating them? It's engulfed Nomi's upper torso, its petals pulsing as it pulls them down further. You could use your plas cutter to cut them out of there if you can figure out what part of the creature to cut without hurting Nomi. Nomi is struggling and you hear muffled sounds of distress from inside. You have to try! What's your favorite button in video games? Favorite button? Can you explain what you mean? Action to do in a game? Is it clearly the skip? Jordan? Would have went with jump. Jump is a good button. When there's a jump button missing from a game, I notice. I was gonna say, like, sleep button was my first go-to. I'm doing alright. I'm hanging out and playing my cute little card-based skill check game. Okay, I only need to get to 13.
I never read out of sleep. That beat's gonna be today, big bar. Yeah, it should be. Yeah, but they're doing the same thing.
What is that emote?
That was. I still can't.
What?
I can't believe that when that came in, it just was very
I love him. Has a face only a mother could love. He's just a little guy. He's just a little dude.
roll the dice, but see.
I don't know. I could have done better. That's fine. You delicately slice the lyre flower at the underside of the base of its flower. Wait, hold on. You delicately slice the lyre flower at the underside of the base of its flower, which you guess is the creature's neck. Up close, it actually looks a little bit more reptilian than plant-like. Just a little nick and the creature coughs and convulses. There are too many R sounds. Nomi spills forth in a flood of digestive juices. Ew, 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 yuck! My outfit, stupid flower! Nomi stomps and shakes her fist at the flower, which lurches away on a fat, snake-like body. I'm gonna assume I saved Nomi's life. It's his birthday? Is it? You're crossing a clearing when you hear a terrible cracking, pounding sound. A bush bub bursts through the tree line, barreling straight towards you. Whatever's making a bush bub run, you're pretty sure you don't want to be on the business end of it. Yeah, but I do, actually. I'm gonna stand my ground. Still waiting for the fishing? There's no fishing. I'm sorry. Just stare him down. It works 99% of the time. Yeah, that's how that works. don't have a 4. I can't get to a 4 either. Could have gotten 33. Sorry, I meant it doesn't work. The creature pounds past you, its powerful stone-like gorilla arms smashing the ground. It doesn't even seem to see you, and goes around you without even looking at you. You look around, but there's no sign of whatever motivated the bush bub to run so fast. At least that's something to be grateful about.
Yeah, you see, they ran up, when they huddled, they ran up out, 4 seconds left. You know, worst comes to worst. Well, because, like, worst comes to worst, if he miss, they can't hit a 3 to tie it. You know, they just foul.
It's a herd of herding sunbiters, your creatures, that you personally discovered and got to name. Study them. There's no fishing! I'm sorry!
Big free throws, biggest, like, moment of your life.
I'm sorry.
You kind of shit for the first half of the game, and then coming back to it, yeah, let me clutch this out real quick. You were saying that part of why I might have trusted him too. It was like, he wasn't really running before they started the playoffs. Harden also literally had 12 per pick and roll that he ran against Horford. And they ran that 10 times or something.
We already could just win.
Times. Well, they, for some reason, Harden was literally hunting Horford the whole time. They would try to hide him in a corner and they would run the pick. And they had to switch or else the person would have run get a free layup. They just kept running that back and forth.
+2 perception. You've seen this herd a few times, Trout. I'm gonna hire a modder, just add fishing to a game I only knew existed today. Do it. 100% worth it. You've seen this herd a few times traveling through this stretch of wilderness. All day they bask in the sun on top of a plateau. Now that evening is coming, they're coming down into the plains to forage. They like to hang out in big groups and mostly lie around being lazy all day. Sounds like the life. Utopia is happy to have more information on that rare herd of herding sunbiters. Ugh. I don't know why I chose to call it that. The terrain here is strange, some kind of smooth rock covered in lichens and tiny plants. It's weirdly warm, and the spark snow melts when it hits it. I'm gonna move over it. Ew, that card becomes a 2 no matter what. I don't like that. Ah! That scared me. Okay. All right. I disagree. I do not think I could have gotten a 36 in that last round, but okay, game. After cautiously walking around on it for a few minutes and observing quietly, you realize the ground is alive. It's rumbling very slightly. What you thought was just a rock slowly opens it. It's an eye! It stares at you dreamily and you stare back fascinated. This must be a very ancient creature. It's so vast, it's completely merged into the surroundings. There are even trees growing out of it. A little animal, like a moth with huge webbed feet, lands between you and the massive eye and starts preening. The eye dilates to focus on the moth. Then it slowly closes its closes again in what you Jesus! Guys, it's a day. Then it slowly closes again in what you think might be contentment. After a minute, you feel a faint rumble under your feet. Regular breathing in and out. Snoring. You creep off the creature, careful not to wake it again. Was really struggling. Reading words is hard. Pulled a muscle in your back. Dude, are you okay? The water in this pond is a slightly greener color than you're used to seeing. It smells sweet, but kind of acidic too. I'm gonna identify it. You collect a sample to analyze, then hide yourself under some large mushrooms to watch the local fauna come and go. The smaller creatures sniff the water but leave without drinking. Then a massive balneal photosynth lumbers over, lifts a leg, and oh, this pond must be where the balneal photosynths mark their territory. You check your analysis results to confirm. Yes, it's literally brimming with balneal piss. Good thing you didn't try to drink it. Ew. One of your jobs as a surveyor is to document the flora and fauna through photographs. You spotted some kind of baby photosynth, all shaggy, purple fur with leaves growing out the top of its head. It's grazing up on top of a large mushroom cap. You've got a camera built into your holopalm, but it's not equipped to capture difficult shots like this. You'll need to put in the work. Find a good angle or try to get close. Lucky comfy beds that don't feel uncomfortable are a thing. True. Realistically, I should go for perception. But I want to get more animals. So, I can't get more. No. Wasting channel points? Is there a bad ending in this game? There's a couple of bad endings. It depends on what you consider the bad ending. I like all my emotes. Admittedly, only one of my wigs looks like that hair anymore. I chopped off all my hair. Oh. I didn't know you could do that. That's cool. 34? In what fucking world? You cautiously crawl up beside your subject, raising your holopalm to get the best close-up possible. Ouch! Just as the camera takes a photo, your subject bites you on the finger. Ah, you hope it's not venomous. On the bright side, you got the shot. You're too worn out. Uh-oh, max stress. I got bit. The Vertumnalia Festival is a welcome day of normalcy in an otherwise chaotic year. Despite some lingering rivalry between the two factions, Vertumnalia is a chance for the Helios and Stratos to come together and appreciate the bounty of the planet. At least, that's what the adults say. As Governor Lum takes the stage to address the colony, you can't help but notice the crowd has segregated itself according to the ship of origin. Rex shoots you a wave from over on the Strato side, and Nomi makes a silly face. Vase is surrounded by other young soldiers, all looking sharp in their Heliopause uniforms. With Nem standing beside you, you wonder if the two ships will ever feel like one colony. Aw, have a good one, Destroyer. A fanfare plays over the square's announcement system. Lum's honor guard do a complex drill with their drone rifles. Greetings, people of Vertumna, Lum says, his voice ringing out over the square. We may be far from our beautiful Earth, but we can still celebrate and be thankful for what we have here. We've worked hard to save this... I don't know this word. This beleaguered? Is it beleaguered? Because what the fuck does that mean? Well, there's an ad running. I'm gonna look this up.
I like grades for it because you don't have that.
So, I'm right. It is beleaguered. Stupid fucking word. Like, there's so many better words he could have chosen to use. So, according to Google, beleaguered means, like, haggard or plagued or fucked up in a very difficult situation. It is pronounced beleaguered. It's a stupid fucking word. I have never heard of it before. I wonder if it's like... Apparently... I love looking at graphs for shit. Hold on. Because this is really interesting to me. Supposedly, this is a word that's actually used relatively frequently, according to Google. I'm gonna disagree with them, but... Here we go. Just real quick. The use of this word peaked in 1862 and then hasn't been used, and then for some reason spiked in 2006? Oh no, sorry, it spiked in 2008. Wasn't that, in the US at least, the fucking housing market crash? I was a child, I admit. But that's interesting. How fun. Origins of words. We've worked hard to save this beleaguered little colony from the brink of destruction and should be proud of our work. The Helios cheer. Your side of the square is more quiet. I know some of you have been asking, Lum, how are you going to do it all by yourself? How are you going to run the colony, solve everyone's problems, turn this planet into a paradise, and look good? Lum strikes a pose to a smattering of polite applause. Well, I have the answer for you, he continues. The old council made a lot of bad choices, like illegally leaving Earth. But I believe in second chances, so I've appointed the original department heads to my own council, Lum's Council 2.0. Better not disappoint me, he laughs and makes finger guns at the department heads at the foot of his podium. Pew pew pew! Stay on your toes, Stratos. I also want to promise everyone here today that we're going to make Vertumna safe for humans, Lum says. The next time those bastard Xenos attack, we're going to blow them to so many little pieces there won't be enough left to wipe off our boots. We've already got the defenses, he says, gesturing broadly to the new, taller, thicker walls. And we're building homes for everyone, homes where people can raise children again, knowing that our military men and women are keeping us safe. Big cheers from both sides this time. Some of the colonists around you even have tears in their eyes, especially those who lost family in the last attack. Lum goes on for a while, lionizing the Heliopause's military strength and casting subtle digs at your failed colony experiment. Finally, the crowd disperses to set up the square for the afternoon festivities, some traditional and some new. At the tables, Aunt Anne and the kids are setting out the spread for dinner. There's an unimaginable amount of food thanks to the Heliopause's huge ration surplus, and the piles upon piles of xenomeat from the hunting parties, for those who can stomach it. Anne is all smiles, clearly making an effort to move on, as Lum mandated despite still mourning her lost son, Com. Com being short for kombucha. But not even the festive atmosphere can force a smile on a Nem's face. Come on, it's party time. We should be mourning, not celebrating. Who do these Helio jerks think they are? I miss my mom. Cal hauls a massive tureen of stew onto the table. Yeah, me too, he adds quietly. She should have been here to see this. I think she'd be really proud of how hard we worked in geoponics. The chime sounds to announce that the square is set up for the annual competitions. What do you choose this year? Xeno wrangling, talent show, bake-off. Ooh. Ooh, I don't know. I could use more persuasion and more combat. I'm gonna do talent show. You, Mars, and Rex for the all singing, all dancing. Oh, sorry. You, Mars, and Rex. Xeno wranglings. I'm so sorry. I already chose. You took too long. You, Mars, and Rex report for the all singing, all dancing, all talent extravaganza. Mars looks a little put out that Diz doesn't show up. She was looking forward to continuing their rivalry. Mars goes first and does a dance routine she lifted from a music video. The teenagers all enjoy it, but you can tell the adults feel it's a little too much for a 15-year-old. Seek clicks their tongue, and Instant shakes her head. Also, I was doing it because I was hoping I'd get love with, friendship with Rex, because I figured he'd do the talent show. I'm sorry, I picked it for a reason, I promise. I was gonna do Xeno wrangling, because I was like, oh, that could be fun. But I was like, I bet you Rex is doing the talent show. I was right. There it goes. That's what I was hoping for. That's the only reason I picked talent show. I don't want to read. I don't want to read this. Oh, woo! Rex calls out to Mars as they cross paths on the stage exit. You're hotter than both suns. Mars laughs smugly and flips her hair at him. Rex does a stand-up routine featuring a number of dog-based puns, and then it's your turn. I have full stress, so I'm not gonna be able to push through any of these. I'm losing this one this time, unfortunately. Art. I'll try. Oh. Okay. I was like, I don't want to have to push through for stress. I can't. I have 100 stress. That works. Yeah! We did it! Let's go. And we're popular. You're a winner and everybody wants to be your friend. You put on some calming music and do a live demonstration of your landscape painting skills. You're worried that people will lose interest as you paint your happy little mushrooms, but the audience is enraptured by your voice. You win by a large margin of raucous applause. Let's go. Oh, that's Rex! This person drew him straight up anime style. He looks even more like a cat boy in here. There we go. That's what I was hoping for. After the festivities, the mood in the colony is a lot lighter. You see people smiling easier, and often see mixed groups of Helios and Stratos socializing together. It feels like the first time people have actually let themselves relax. Let's go. He wants to talk to me! Are we friends now? We have 10 friendship. You find Rex playing cards by himself in the lounge with an actual physical deck of cards. He looks up at you as you approach and visibly brightens when he sees you, sitting up straight with his dog-like ears on alert. Wah, hey, Soleil, he exclaims. How's it hanging? Do you want to play a game with me? Sure, what kind of game? It's called Bottoms Up, Rex explains. We both play a card from our hand we think is lower than the one the other person is playing, and the person with the lowest card wins. If you win, you get the number of points that are on your card, plus you get to take the loser's card and add it to your hand. So you want to play a low card to win, but if you play your high cards at the right time, you get lots of points. It's a game of compromise. I used to play it back on the Helio, but now everyone's here and, you know, realizing their big dreams of being heroes and saving humanity, Rex says, rolling his eyes with a good-natured grin. Soldiers love to gamble, Rex says. You know that thing you use here? Kudos? We can bet some kudos on it, or maybe we can bet something more interesting. What do you mean, more interesting? Well, Rex says, his smile turning a little wolfish. Have you ever kissed anybody before? Put that tongue back in your mouth, or so help me God. I'm putting a fucking censor bar over his head. Hold on. That is... Hold on. Absolutely not. This is taking too long for the bit. Motherfucker. Never mind. It took too long. The bit is over. Just imagine there's a black bar across. There we go. Of course. I don't have high enough reasoning. Then we should do that. Winner gets a kiss from the loser. So you kiss no matter what. I'm covering his face again. I wouldn't say sure, but I really wish I had the reasoning high enough to do this one. I want to know what the fuck he'd say. I wonder if he just thinks I won't notice. Sure. Rex puts out his hand to shake a paw, or to shake on it. Deal, he laughs. The anticipation is the best part. Oh, okay. Why are his jeans ripped? Rex shuffles the cards and deals half the deck to each of you, and you begin to play the game. The best thing about this game is that it's not very hard to play, Rex says, scooping up his winning cards. It's all about how well you know the other person. And, well, we don't know each other very well yet, so what do you want to know about me? Have you made any friends here? Oh yeah, of course, Rex says. He looks happy. All the adults are so much nicer than the ones I grew up with. Like, they care so much about how and why they do stuff. I love being around them. And the other teens, like, whoa, you guys are all so cool. Anemone and Tange are so passionate. Cal's a solid sweetheart, and Mars is like a galactic level hottie. Wow, he trails off, lost in thought. Oh, and that Diz guy seems interesting too. Well, now I have to romance him, cause she sure as fuck doesn't get him. That's not allowed. What do you like to do for fun? Talk to people mostly, Rex says, and puts down a low card to win the hand. I like to see what everyone's doing and help them with stuff if I can. I just really like being around other people. I like doing whatever they're doing. Oh, and cuddling, of course. I love cuddling, and running, and chasing stuff. He rubs the soft inner part of his ear and smiles sheepishly. I do enjoy that they didn't give him a second set of ears, because that kind of ruins the illusion of a dog boy or a cat boy. It's like, why do they have two sets of ears? What are your plans for the future? Rex blinks at you. Oh, wow, big question. I don't know. I think if I stayed on the heliopause, I probably would have ended up becoming a soldier like anybody else, but planet side? Rex smiles to himself as he puts down a high card. I could do anything. I've always liked making things with my hands, and I like making other people happy. Maybe I can do something with that. Enough talking, let's just play the game. You play out the rest of the cards, staying fairly even in points until Rex is left with only one card, and you have two. You're trailing, but not by much. If you play your low card for an easy win, you'll gain enough points to make it a draw. If you gamble on the slightly higher card in your hand, you might lose entirely. You could win. Check Rex for tells. You scrutinize Rex. You're not sure why, but you get the sense he's not really confident he'll win this hand. If you want to win, you should play the higher card. I'm playing the higher card. You put down your higher of your two cards, and Rex shouts, "Are you for real?" He laughs. That was a really risky play. You're lucky I only had a high card left. He turns over his card. It's even higher than yours. You win the game by a comfortable margin. Rex tidies up the cards, biting his lip with one little fang as he darts you a coy look. So, want to cash in on that bet, winner? I could say never mind. I could say no, never mind. I don't actually want that. Oh. You know what? Good on this game. Valuing consent, even in visual novels, is very important. And good for him. Good on him for asking. I know he's a written character, but solid. Sure. Rex giggles and leans in, cupping your cheek and placing a soft, thoughtful kiss on your lips. It doesn't last long, but you can tell he's a great kisser. He smiles warmly as he pulls away. Thanks for playing with me so late, he murmurs. Maybe we could do it again sometime. I don't have anything to give him. I don't have engineering at all. I have one engineering. A singular. Hi, Diz. You leave the front gates and see Diz talking to one of the senior surveyors. He listens intently to their instructions, and then the surveyor hands him a satchel of instruments and claps him on the shoulder before walking away. Diz turns to you. Hey, Solane, he says. He hikes the satchel on his shoulder and gives you a shy smile. It's still kind of weird to be allowed outside the walls. Remember when we used to sneak out? Diz's eyes crinkle at the corners. It was so easy to avoid Chief Surveyor Tonin, he says wistfully. He ducks his head. Too bad he's dead. He was really nice to me. What's the weirdest thing you've seen? Diz looks up at the sky with a thoughtful look. There's this big rock in the western ridges that's almost totally flat on top. When I get near it, it makes me feel happy? He smiles. It's so strange, and it's really hard to leave. The first time I went there, I laid on top of it for so long that I almost missed the transport back. I know it's my job, but I haven't told anybody about it yet, he says. I don't know how to explain it, but it's almost like I want it to be kept a secret. Sounds kind of romantic. An isolated place that makes you feel good? Yeah. Aw. Diz blinks at you like the thought truly hadn't crossed his mind. He frowns. I guess, he says, as if the words taste bad in his mouth. Diz looks pretty busy, so you say your goodbye and let him get back to his work. You'll have to let him keep some of his secrets, for now. I don't think anybody else has anything they want to say. Let me figure out what I want to do. Probably this, because the biology would be nice. Mars has something to say, but we're in the middle of an ad, so we'll wait. There's not much else to do. Alright. I'm gonna do this one. It's so hot and dry, and there's so much watering to do, so you're relieved when Cal is the one who breaks first and starts a water fight in the fields. Is it the most efficient use of water? Well, no, but it's still really fun, and the plants get wet, so no one can really complain. Could've gotten 40.
He's got that end game.
Oh, we got a ping in biology. And we got money. But only 2 toughness. I Unlock xenobotany research in geoponics. Geoponics is a buzz with activity. Repairs to the domes are underway, the fields are being replanted, and hydroponics from the heliopods are being installed. Hey, kiddo, your dad says, looking up from his work desk where he's dissecting a huge bell-shaped flower. Can you hand me that separator? I've really got my hands in things here. You hand him the tool, which he uses to wedge open some sort of weird stoma-like opening inside the bell. Gooey purple nectar oozes out and pools onto the desk. Whoa, he exclaims. I thought I drained the little beauty. Can you get a towel, I guess? You help him mop up the flower juice. Yuck. It's sticky and smells like rotting vegetables. When you're done, he looks at you with pride. You know, I've been thinking of getting one of you kids to come help me out with researching the native plants, he says. You think you might be able to break off some time and help your old man in the lab? I know you've been studying biology, he adds, but it's not as glamorous as gene check research with instants. But it is important. I've set up this lab for native plants, he says. Come by if you're looking for something to do. And if you find any cool plants while you're out exploring, bring them here and we'll take a look. Your dad looks around his lab and laughs, then sighs. It's funny. Your mom would not have approved of this. She hated the idea of cultivating native plants, even though... He looks down at his hands. Well, I'm sure we'll be able to learn a lot of useful stuff. Your dad introduces you to the little lab they have set up in one of the greenhouses. It's incredible, he says, gesturing all around him. We're surrounded by alien flora, and we know practically nothing about it. What's edible? What's medicine? What can we make fibers with, or build with, or use in ways we haven't thought of yet? He beams at you. You and me, we're gonna find out, my little potato. Your dad directs you to the research bench. And here's where you'll be working. The bench is buried under samples and beakers and weird-looking alien sprouts. More than just a simple table, the analysis bench is covered with buttons and little holes you can put things into. Carefully find the on switch. There is no on switch. Stick something in a hole. You put one of the seedlings into a small slot in the table. A little door slides shut, then reopens. A loud brrr noise startles you. Oh, you broke it! Your dad laughs. Nah, just kidding. You're fine. Good instincts, kiddo. Press buttons at random. You mash all of the table's buttons until... Yo, 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 kiddo! It's congruence. The friendly ship's computer beams at you from her own hollow screen set into the bench. Of course she's here. She's the guardian of all knowledge in the colony, after all. You wonder who she got yo, yo, yo from. Your dad laughs. Don't tell anyone, but Congruence is the real brains of the operation, he confesses, though it's not like it's a secret. She'll make sure we don't do anything super dangerous, which means you and I get to focus on experimentation. If you follow the rules and stick to what you already know, you won't learn anything new, so don't be afraid to try stuff. You bring your mushwood samples into the lab. You're going to study these and revolutionize the use of mushwood lumber. Maybe. Study this! Mushwood! You examine the mushwood under a microscope and take notes on it. Its cellular structure. Part of the reason it needs to be harvested and wet is because the cells get so saturated that they lose structural integrity and turn to, well, mush during glow. Studying the exact process by which the cells take in water leads to a breakthrough. It might be possible to hack the process and stop the mushwood trees from taking on too much water during wet. If they don't take on as much water, they won't take as long to dry. You should be able to develop a spray that the loggers can apply to the fruiting bodies of the mushwood tree. The part that sticks above the ground. To the fruiting body of the mushwood. The part that sticks above the ground to close its pores. Reducing negative pressure in the body should stop it from pulling so much water from the mycelial network underground. This is great. Logging will be much more efficient now. might have been 41. What the fuck? That's a lot. Early wet. Hello, Dad. You overhear your dad talking to one of the other cultivators. He seems to be upset about something to do with the new governor and the people from Heliopause. When the other woman leaves, you have a chance to ask him the burning questions you've had. Who are these new people? Your dad looks startled and tries to muster a friendly smile. You overheard us, huh, kiddo? Listen, Solane. He hesitates and looks around nervously as if afraid you're being watched. You're just going to have to trust the adults on this one. There are things you're still too young to understand. I am not too young. I thought the same about myself once, your dad says gravely. I was wrong.
The defender armor is OP.
The Helios came here just like us, looking for a better life, he tells you. Some of them had other reasons too, but now that we're here, we have to learn how to work together. When your mother and I were young on Earth, we learned a hard lesson. He gives a grim smile. We learned a lot of hard lessons. One, that it was safer to be led by a dangerous person than to be attacked by an army of them. He lets that sink in. Another was that sometimes when adults tell you not to worry, you should listen to them. Go on, enjoy your youth. He gestures towards the Heliopause. Go get to know some of those new kids. I'm sure you'll find that they're a lot like you. Before you can say another word, your dad is called back to work. There's still so much to be done to rebuild the farm and geoponic greenhouses, and you can see people from the Helio are helping him. Maybe they aren't all that bad. Cal waves at you as you enter the garden, leaning on his shovel. Hey, Solane, he calls, but his eyes look past you, down the path to where Anemone is beating the absolute tar out of a training dummy. Her fierce battle cries echo across the colony, making Cal wince. She's been going totally hard lately, huh? He says. He scratches his face, smearing dirt across his cheek. She asked me yesterday if I wanted to spar with her. She said it would be good for self-defense. Yeah, I bet she did. She would be the type to just be like, fight me! Cal smiles sadly at the memory. I told her I don't want to fight. Not her, not a training dummy, and not anything on this planet. For real. I've never seen her get so mad at me. She called me a baby and told me I'm just gonna end up forcing everyone to protect me because I'm weak or helpless or whatever. He seems upset and stabs the ground a few times with his shovel. I don't think it's right to fight with anyone, especially the Xenos. They were here first, he says. What do you think, Solane? Sometimes you don't have a choice. Geez, you sound like an adult, Cal grumps. They always tell us to see both sides of an argument, and I tried, but He shrugs. I just think that if you have to hurt someone to get what you need, you don't deserve to have it. Ouch! Is this about me going after the dog boy, even though he clearly likes Mars and Mars clearly likes him? Listen, she doesn't deserve him. I'm saving him from a pain of... Ow! What if your life depends on it? What if your loved ones are in danger? What if you're really hungry? What if they attack you first? I can see your point. You're being naive, Cal. What if your loved ones are in danger? I mean, that's totally scary, but you kind of shouldn't be putting your loved ones in danger in the first place. Or you kind of shouldn't be putting your loved ones in situations where they could be in danger in the first place. What if your life depends on it? How is that fair? Their life depends on it too, Cal retorts. You can't just decide that you get to live and they don't. Yeah, you can. Because that's what they would decide. What if you're really hungry? Cal frowns and crosses his arms. I mean, that's kind of on you. It ain't fair to kill something just because you didn't think ahead. What if they attack you first? Cal throws his arms up in disgust. If something attacks you first, you probably did something wrong. Maybe you shouldn't keep going places where things want to attack you. I get his point. I get it. And, like, yeah, we did come to this planet from Earth. We chose to come here. But... if I do this, I'm gonna lose friendship with him. You're being naive. You tell him sometimes you just have to fight. Nope, Cal says. Nope, nope, nope. Nobody's life is worth more than anyone else's life. Doesn't matter if they're human, Xeno, or anything else out there. We all need to live in peace. His eyes go back to Anemone. She stops sparring with the trading dummy, is looking up at the gardens as she has a drink. Neither she nor Cal waves at the other. Cal has such strong convictions. It's one of the things you like best about him, even if you don't always agree with them. You spend a few hours following Cal through the garden. The adults have given him a portion of land to plan out for the next planting season. It's a big responsibility, but instead of feeling proud, you can tell Cal is a little distracted by your conversation. He keeps looking over in Anemone's direction, but she seems determined to ignore him. When you finally head out, you're just as dirty as he is. The dirt sticks under your nails no matter how many times you wash your hands.
Yeah, what to get worse?
Anyone else? Oh, Mars. I'll talk to Mars in a second. Hug! Aw, yeah.
You should know.
Mars is working in the depot today. You find her sitting on a pile of boxes, drumming her feet against them as she flips dismissively through a magazine on her hollow palm. Every so often, she snorts at something she's read and rolls her eyes. Oh, hey, Solane, she says as you approach. Would you rather have really bad body odor for a whole day, or have to spend the whole day naked? Why?
That wasn't me.
I'm reading some of the teen magazines from Old Earth, Mars says. You know, like fashion and makeup and dating and stuff?
I don't want that.
She turns to a new page and reads out loud. Don't be afraid to use green concealer. You may look like the Wicked Witch at first, but don't click your heels and go home. Stick with it and you'll be on that yellow brick road to clear, beautiful skin. Mars laughs incredulously. What does that even mean? Papa taught me to put on makeup because I wanted to be pretty like him. Mars says, but it was never like, cover up your blemishes, make your nose smaller, hide your scungy pores. And that's all they ever talk about in these things. Mars and I have similar ideas on how makeup should be used. And it's like, was Earth fashion really about making everyone look as small as possible? What is wrong with them? Mars gestures to herself. I was the biggest kid the whole time we were growing up, and I've always been gorgeous. And that's not just my genetic enhancement talking. Sometimes I think they should have just made everyone able to feel shame, Mars says. Like all these magazines talk about is how to fix your flaws or act different so people will like you. It's such a waste of time. Mars tosses her hair over her shoulder. If people don't like me, they can flick off. I literally don't care what they think. You know, I wouldn't have guessed that was her augment. But holy shit, does it make sense? Yeah, I could see it. Mars pats the box next to her, and you climb up and sit beside her. The dating advice in these things is pretty good, though, she says, flipping through a few pages. Like, my dad's taught me about reproduction and stuff, but they got so squicked out when I asked how you actually get someone to have sex with you. She rolls her eyes. Teenagers on Earth were apparently very worried about getting boys to like them, Mars says. Like, look at this quiz. 10 ways to tell if he's super into you. Mars smirks and angles her hollow screen away from you. Jesus. Ooh, let's see how into me you are, Solane. First question, do you have any cute nicknames for me? No. That's fair, Mars says. I don't have any for you. Second question, do you get nervous around me? No. Not even a little bit, Mars says, acting like she's affronted. Last question. Do you go out of your way to see me? No, we just talk because you're there. Huh, Mars says thoughtfully. So what you're saying is, every time you do see me, you feel compelled to talk to me. I can work with that. Mars makes a frustrated noise and dismisses her hollow screen. Ugh, this is so wimpy, she groans. What was wrong with Earth teens? If you want to know if someone likes you, just ask them. It's easy if you're not a coward. Mars turns to you and leans in, bracketing your legs with her arms. You can smell her body lotion, light and floral, and feel the heat of her chest against your arm. She pouts and looks at you through her lashes. What about it, Solane? Do you like me? I don't like Namor right now. She's being kind of a jerk. I'm so tempted. I shouldn't, though. I shouldn't. I'll decide in a second, okay? I'll decide in a moment. Are you out here taking notes? Nerd. Anyways.
Will Smith.
Yeah, sure, fuck it. Mars smiles and tilts her head back. I didn't say love, she teases, but I'll take it. I don't think anything's going on with anybody else.
What about?
I have something for you. This is interesting, as Altan says, taking the roots. Da-da-da-da. I know her birthday, don't I? No, I do not. That's okay. I got something for you. Oh. I wonder if he'd like the flower. Nope. Is this her birthday? This is her birthday. Well, I've had better birthday gifts, Mars sighs, rubbing one of the petals. But this will look nice in my hair, I think. Thank you. She does like flowers! I knew someone had to. Running around like, holy shit. Research seal botany! You've been studying the sponge cake you found in the Valley of Vertigo, in that oddly squishy trampoline-y ground. As you suspected, it is a type of fungus. The analysis bench tells you it contains edible starches. Once dried and processed with a maturing agent, acidic spark snow would work nicely, it will make a wonderful flower. The challenge now is to cultivate it. It multiplies quickly, and you've seen how to stop anything else from growing, and you've seen how it stops anything else from growing near it. Plant it in a backfield. You plant the sponge cake in a special field, quarantined on the other side of the geoponics dome from the rest of the crops. By the end of the month, you can already tell it's taken root and will start producing viable food soon. You should get your first harvest during pollen, when the sponge swells up and is at its sweetest. Many of Earth's crops grow through dust and need to be harvested before wet. This means the colony has more food available year-round. It's going to be an incredible boon. Oh, great. Super useful. Oh, it's because it's a straight. Got a bunch of biology. Mid-wet. We're gonna do it again. Your work often overlaps with Tangent's work in her biochemistry and genetics lab, so it's not uncommon for her to pop by and ask questions about what you're working on, or for her to ask you to help interpreting some test results. She's uncharacteristically animated whenever she gets to talk about science, almost like she's a whole different person. She even laughs sometimes. Don't you think it's so interesting how vertumnant species resist being classified by any known taxonomy? She asks, peering into the root network you've sandwiched between pieces of clear glass. She stands up. I feel like everything is a little bit fungal, she says. Spores, fruiting bodies, mycelial networks, even in animals. And some animals here even photosynthesize. She nods excitedly. The division between plant, animal, and fungus is less strict here than it was on Earth. At the cellular level, many animal species have properties of plants, and vice versa. She launches into an explanation of how high-energy bonds store energy and require a metal catalyst like iron in human blood and chlorophyll in green earth plants, but how the different hues of autumnal plants must mean that they use an entirely unknown elemental catalyst, probably not even a metal at all. It's a little advanced for you, but Tange is very excited about it. She stops and takes a breath, winded by her own monologue. Zounds, Solane, if autumnal plants and animals share an elemental catalyst and we found out what it is, we could learn so much about this planet. I'm gonna help her. You show Tangent what you've been working on. All the samples and simulations, the results of scans and experiments. I just got an achievement. 5 relationships to 5 hearts. Let's go. Yeah, I did. Let's go! Me and Tangent are best friends now. Incredible, Tangent says, going over your notes. We've been attempting to map the genomes of various samples in order to construct a phylogenetic tree, but we're at capacity already. Can I take this? Of course. Tangent smiles. Thank you, Solane. This is more helpful than I can say. Chief Engineer Instance forwards you some kudos for sharing your research. Hold on. Is my heart... No, okay. I was like, is my heart rate monitor broken? It broke one of the other streams, and I was like, oh, I couldn't even use it in any of my clips. That was so sad. This has to be the max I can get, right? $45! I disagree. Incorrect. Alright. I'm gonna rest. Because of glow. I'm gonna rest out here. I think. You and Diz make up a game that involves counting the numbers of people walking through the gates carrying things versus empty-handed. Then it's with hats versus without hats, and it's wearing yellow versus not wearing yellow. It's a pointless game, but it passes the time. You fill the gaps with idle, meaningless conversation. No, I won't forget anything. It's glow season! AKA time for everyone to be attacked and killed. Oh, not a single crystal? Sure. There, you can have that. You can have a mushwood log. There you go.
Shredded glasses? Like 13. No, there's a lot.
And then I have something I can actually do with him. Want to hear a fun nature fact? You tell him about the time Tange brought a skunk bug for show and tell in biology, and it got scared and made the worst, most smelliest, grossest stink you had ever smelled. And everyone thought Tange had farted. Then Professor Hal had to clear out the whole room, and it took weeks to get the smell out of the beanbags, and it was so gross. But also kind of neat how such a tiny bug could make a whole room of kids run away. Cal laughs. I remember that, Solane, except the way I hear it, the way I heard it, it wasn't Tange, it was you. to say. Biology 80. Oh. Animals 80. I'm close to that one. I guess I'll do the animals. Tend to the animals. You meet your dad by the animal pens, fresh and ready for your first day at your new job. Your dad laughs at your clean clothes and your scrubbed face. Oh, Pumpkin, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you're a little overdressed for the position, he chuckles. You're gonna get dirtier and all heck today. Go on, put these overalls, and let's get to work. You change and follow your dad to the float cow pens. He rubs their noses as he points out their names. I know they're cute, but these ladies aren't pets, he says. They're livestock. And more than that, they're not really domesticated like our animals back on Earth. They're more like tame. We give all the animals lots of room to roam, and we feed them well. They're not going to get chased down and eaten by bigger animals, and we help them if they're sick. It's a pretty good deal, I think. But they're still pretty wild, he says. You gotta be careful with them. He leans his elbows on the fence. We were pretty lucky that Vertumna has herd animals, he says. Makes it a little easier. We'll probably have real domestic animals in a couple 100 years. That's a wild amount of time. Well, kiddo, your dad says, spreading his arms. We've got all these animals. What do you want to learn about first? The bristle slugs. Oh yeah, we've got a ton of them, he says. They're great, slow and easy to catch, and real gentle. Don't let the spikes fool you. They're actually really cuddly and don't mind when you pet them. It actually helps them. In the wild, they'd be scratching up on all those sorts of things to knock off those itchy berries. He scrunches up his nose. They're not really like berries. They're more like eggs. Well, they're like berries, though, because they're sweet, and you know what? Never mind. Vertumnan animals are pretty weird. The float cows! Your dad gestures at the herd of float cows. Here they are. Beautiful, aren't they? And pretty gross. You don't want to know where they make their milk, but I'll give you a hint. It's not dairy. He laughs at your wrinkled nose. It's not any weirder than when people used to drink cow's milk. I mean, who's the first guy that decided to do that? We figured out that if we keep feeding them what they'd be eating during pollen, they'll keep making milk year-round. He continues proudly. It makes them heavy enough that they don't float away. Otherwise, we'd have to keep them on leads, like balloons. Tell me about sugar bugs. Your dad takes you to the rows of crates where the soft, swishy sugar bugs are all clumped together in the moist muck. These guys are pretty cool, he says, picking one up. It perfectly fits in his palm. They're a colony just like us, and if you tickle them, you get... He brushes his finger along the top of the sugar bug, and a little jet of gooey stuff comes right out. Sugar bug syrup, he says. Pretty neat, right? The trippets! No joke, we thought these guys were just plants for the first couple years, your dad says. We transplanted them from the wild into the greenhouses, but I guess that was just part of their life cycle because it turns out they're sentient and can move around and stuff. We moved them out of the greenhouses and then into the barns, but we don't really treat them differently. They still mostly just sit there. I don't think we should eat animal stuff, or let's get started. I'm hoping that if I do the I don't think we should eat animal stuff, it still lets me do the let's get started. I assume it will. Your dad smiles understandingly. Ooh. I know, kiddo. It can be weird to wrap your head around when you spent most of your life eating plants. You don't have to eat that kind of stuff if you don't want to, he says. There will always be vegan options in the canteen, but ranching is a part of our food production, so that's our job. To make it as nice for the animals here as we can. Great, your dad says, clapping you on the back. That's the kind of energy I want to see around here. We need someone to muck out the float cow stables. They might float, but their poop sure doesn't. He hands you a shovel. Have fun! Great. Oh. 7, 5.
And Joey's random might be back anytime soon. This guy's hard. North American. Good. It's fucking fast.
Could have gotten a 42. You're relaxing in your quarters with your dad when you hear the colony siren. The enemy is here. Your dad looks up from his novel. Huh, seems early this year. We should head to shelter in the lounge. You've been drilling on new evacuation procedures for the past month. There's no need to be a hero now that there are so many new soldiers on the Helio. It's probably best if you just follow instructions and head to the lodge with your dad. Just kidding! You muster with the rest of the defense forces at the gate. Rhett and Lum are arguing about what tactics to employ. Lum keeps trying to rally the soldiers with a heartening speech about giving it everything they've got. All the drones, all the explosives, and Rhett keeps cutting in. We don't need to take any big risks, Rhett insists. It's a smaller attack, and we have more than enough plas rifles and turrets. We should save our other resources for when we do need them. Why do things halfway, Lum exclaims. We need to get in there and kick their asses back to the goo they came from. We need to show people that we have everything under control for morale. Rhett tries one more time to wrestle control of the forces back from Lum, but Lum cuts him off. Fire the explosive rounds, he orders. Arm the charges! Shells scream through the permanent night, followed by explosions you feel vibrate up through your boots. The Helios are unfazed, but you and the other Strato guards exchange nervous looks. You hear yelling, then another boom as the secondary explosives detonate. A baying of bloodthirsty animals reaches your ears, then... Lum holds his finger to his earspeak. Great work. Just the stragglers incoming. Open the gates. Yeah, Ricky likes straights.
Did you guys catch it upstairs? I never killed a single monster. Was that hit?
Yeah. You face off against the Lesser Xeno, some kind of thin, semi-aquatic thing already half dead and limping doggedly through the gates. It's almost comical how easy it is to stun and kill it. By the time you're done, the other soldiers have dispatched the rest of the creatures. Smoke drifts in from the battlefield from the explosions and an acrid scent of triumph. After the attack, Lum gathers everyone in the lounge. There's going to be a second attack, isn't there? Everyone gathers in the lounge and holds a big celebration for the soldiers. There's lots of drinking and songs of valor, and as the party goes long into the night, some drift away in pairs or more. Mars and Rex keep the dancing going. Even Nem seems to relax, especially when the other cadets invite her to drink with them. Tonight, everyone seems convinced that this victory means the colony will be safe forever. Maybe it will be. You sure want to believe it, too. Okay, no second attack. So many cards. Ended up having +5 for loyalty. Made a lot of kudos. I don't even know what to do. I guess you should do animals. Actually, I think I'm closest to bravery. We're gonna survey the ridge. It's so orange. Spooky. Ooh. The only way to the wrestling ridges is by glider. Part vehicle, part kite, and all adrenaline. You land on the rocky, broken up spine of the nearest ridge and nearly fall over when you look down at the plummeting slope into the basin below. You are a long ways up. Diz and Utopia glide in beside you. Woo! Utopia exclaims. You handled that glider like a champ, Diz. You too, Solane. She peers down over the slope of the ridge. A lot more exciting than the swamps, right? I want you two to stick together out here. It's dangerous in those ruins. It's dangerous in those ancient Convergent Domain ruins. Convergent Domain? Ruins? You look around. The landscape is nothing like you've ever seen before. Dry, cracked soil gives way to steep cliffs, and what little vegetation here is... And what little vegetation is here? I'm gonna assume it's supposed to be is here. Is brittle and sharp. You can feel the dry air wick away the moisture in your lips. What the heck is that? Glowing thingy on the ground? You point it out. Utopia gives it a nudge with her foot. Beats me, she says. You unearth the object. It's pulsing with light and warm to the touch. Hold up, Utopia says. Don't go just picking things up, Solane. Could be radioactive, you know. Utopia waves her hollow palm crystal over it and then checks her interface. Only a little, she concludes. Whatever it is, it looks old, like thousands of years old. We've been digging up glowing gadgets all over this region, but got no clue what they're for. You hang on to that one, maybe you'll figure it out. Oh, okay. What's that crystal stuff all the way down below? Oh, those? Utopia says, pointing to a crystal formation so densely packed into the ravine that it looks like a sparkling river. More outcroppings of crystal decorate the slope. They're all over the place. Be careful with them. Not sure if they're animal, vegetable, or mineral. She points over into the distance. There's a big island of them over there, like a glacier. Covers the whole damn place. Might be related to the Convergent Domain, but we ain't sure yet. Huh. And what's that stone structure in the distance? Well, there are buildings here, Utopia says. Traces of them anyway. Maybe 10, 20,000 years old? We sure didn't put them there. Diz lights up at the prospect of doing alien archaeology. We've checked them out, but not thoroughly. Mostly just trying to get a feel for who lived here and why they ain't here no more. Based on some glyphs, we've started calling them the Convergent Domain. Whoever they were, they built things to last, Utopia admires. It ain't just arrowheads and cave paintings, there's real architecture. Machines, even. What? Tell me more. I wish I had more to tell ya, Utopia says. Most everything we've found just poses new questions. The structures read more organic than anything, so does that mean their gene tech was super advanced? As for this place, we think it was some kind of solar network for them, she says, squinting up into the two big suns. Looking at it from above, you can see these big vines traveling up and down the ridges like power lines. And there's hardly any plant life elsewhere. Elsewise, like they soaked up all the energy and made it a desert. But what did they use that energy for, she says? And if there was a civilization so big and so advanced on Vertumna, why can't we find more traces of it? Where are the cities? What were them thumpers for? And what happened to them all? She's right. That's a lot of questions. Maybe you can help find some answers. So anyways, those ruins are the main thing you need to survey while you're out here, Utopia says, but keep an eye out for anything else weird too. Utopia claps the dust off her hands. Well, my job is done here. You're all set, kid. Try not to fall off a cliff. Diz jumps back on his glider. As usual, he's going to scout on ahead and catch up with you later. Hell yeah. You're getting thirsty. You feel for your backup canteen, but it's missing. Somehow you lost it since you left this morning, and you're all out of drinking water. The suns are high and hot in the sky, making the ground waver with heat haze mirage. Your mouth feels dry, so dry, and your head is starting to ache. You're pretty far from the outpost. You could make it back, but that'd be it for this expedition, and you'd have to go home. Search for water.
He gets hit there. If you get the master rank and then everything is so fun. Or at least if they're in rage. If they're in rage, always right. Some moves will. That's your Lance. Fucking Lance is sick.
Could have gotten 35. Incorrect. There's no natural water around, but in your search, you turn up your lost canteen. Well, that was lucky. What is this strange device? I want to see if Diz is out here before I... Ooh.
Anyone rip a dinger?
You find your way blocked by a massive wall. No, a hollow pillar. Knocked over and lying on its side in the sand. It's absolutely massive. It stretches to your left and right at least 1 kilometer in each direction, though at some points it's crumbled enough that you could likely scale over it.
No dingers though?
Excuse me?
They were not paying attention. Fire department paying attention. It's like the South Park episode where they put the on man. I don't want to keep playing this shitty game. Man, this is weird. There you go.
Yes.
Maybe it's great if it's so
Diz looks giddy as you follow the pillar to its base, a large pyramid almost entirely lost under the sand. You brush away some of the sand and find that the pyramid is inscribed on all sides with pictures of, well, wormholes, you think. This pillar must have once stretched up into the sky. Maybe it was some kind of observatory or sacred building, or just a monument to the wormhole. Mysterious. I just want all the items. There's Diz. entirely different person when he's outside the colony walls. Without people constantly trying to correct his asocial behavior, it's like he's blossomed into someone who's actually confident. The more time you spend with him out here, the more glimpses you catch of the real Diz. Bet you can't do this, he says, jumping off a huge boulder and doing a cool roll at the end. Wait, no! Bet you can't do it with your eyes closed. I can. You and Diz cavort around, daring each other to do more and more dangerous things. Diz isn't scared of anything. You think you see something up on one of the plateaus above you. The cliffside is covered in convenient vines. Dare him to climb. He scrambles up the cliff, no problem. He turns around at the top. Now your turn. Well, you dared him, so you gotta follow through. The vines are slippery and dangerous, and some of them are even alive and wriggle when you grab them. You lose your grip right at the top, and you slip and start to fall. But Diz grabs you! Got you! Diz exclaims, pulling you over the ledge. Your heart is thumping and you're all sweaty from fear. But you did it. Diz looks so calm and collected, even though he just climbed the same treacherous wall and saved you from the long fall. Why doesn't he ever seem scared? The plateau is empty, but it provides a great view to look out over the resting ridges. You and Diz take a break and watch the shadows creep across the dusty, craggy landscape. This is the life, Diz says. No school, no gossip, no bullies, no one telling me what to do or what to think. He props his elbow up on his knee and squints into the suns. Even with my augmentation in the colony, I always feel like such a coward. Maybe the problem isn't me. It's everyone else, you know? I'm not scared of any of the usual stuff. Monsters, getting hurt, and even dying. Like, who cares, he continues, but humans keep finding ways to control people with fear. Well, they can't control me. I see. Do all of them have that? They do.
What's so loud?
Nice. Not all of them. It's only people I have certain friendship levels. I guess. I can guess where his fucking loyalty is. It's probably even higher than Anemone's. I didn't know that was there. Am I stupid? I'll never call you a coward again. You might not be alive right now if it weren't for his fearlessness and fast thinking. It wasn't that long of a fall, he says, but you can tell he's a little pleased you understand too. I didn't realize that was an augmentation people could have. I thought it was all physical. I guess I have calm temperament. So who am I really to judge?
It's not really a joke. It should be something a joke about. Oh wait, MVP's about to be announced. Hold up. MVP's hard.
I want the strange things. I bet you Tange likes the strange things. This place is huge! What the hell? Crystals! Oh? Expeditions have been collecting energy readings from this area, tracing the invisible ley lines of power like this one from the thumper that brought you here in the first place. They've pointed you to this cave, a nexus of power at the convergence of many lines. You can feel the energy is different here, like a barely perceivable hum that pricks up the back of your neck, like something is watching you. Unsurprisingly, there's stuff to read. It's likely this was some sort of important place for the convergent domain, Utopia says, leaning on her glider. I've sent teams through, but it gets mighty tight in there. I'm hoping you and Diz might have better luck wriggling in there, she continues. Might be the caves inside open up again, and if they do, take plenty of readings and report back to me. This is vibrating beside you on nearly the same frequency as the weird power fluctuations.
I ain't missed
This
it
is
in
the
a
real
while.
deal, he whispers, mostly to himself. Utopia nods and leaves you to it. What's the plan? Prep. This time you get headlamps, a little recording drone with a floodlight attachment, and tiny buzzing flying things that circle around your head and sometimes illuminate what you want to look at. It's intelligent, which means it won't just do what you want. Diz bats at one in annoyance. Utopia's also left you with an anti-grav belt with a warning to practice extreme caution while spelunking down there. They make you lighter so you can climb more easily and won't hurt yourself as much if you fall. Enter the cave. The narrow entrance leads to a bigger room that animals have clearly used as a den. It's enormous, with glowing mushrooms on the walls and piles of bones in some crevices. In some places, the walls are made of iridescent convergent domain obsidian. Like this was once a great hall millennia ago. You can feel a cool breeze coming from somewhere, but it'll be tricky to find it in the dark. Let's do it.
Oh shit. Just start cooking out.
I'm not gonna get there, am I? I think this is the highest I can get.
What? I literally just said I need to see the MVP thing. I'm not putting anything until after that. I can't punish you for the sake of sucking.
That's pretty good. Only 5 stress? You find the source of the breeze by tossing some fine sand into the air and watching which way the dust blows. It's a very tight crack. Good thing you and Diz are so small. You squeeze through and have to shimmy along your bellies for about 10 meters, pushing your gear on ahead of you. It's uncomfortable, but Diz's excitement draws you on. Past the crack, there are fewer signs of animals. The walls are smooth, grown obsidian, which has kind of a melted rainbow oil slick look. There are deeply carved glyphs on the wall at various intersections, like room designations or street names, you wonder. And other kinds of basins, alcoves grown into the rock, full of odd protrusions, all ancient and worn and inexplicable now.
Like my
It feels homey.
brother,
You come to realize the convergent domain must have lived underground. That's why there are so few ruins on the surface. As you follow the cave complex down, it's clear this used to be a well-traveled path. The corridors branching off to other places are blocked now, as if a big earthquake had rattled this whole area. Only this one main path is clear. It's too convenient to be a coincidence. The floor of the cave slopes downward like a slide, and it's quite slippery.
You said that? No.
You follow the cave system down, 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 all the way down to what must be the bottom of the cliffs. You have to climb down a 3-story wall in the last section and are grateful for your anti-grav belt for making that easier. You're still tired, though. You can see dim light below. Daylight? You emerge into a hidden valley, totally surrounded by tall cliffs. Did you just come down all that way? You're surrounded by the ruins of the Convergent Domain buildings, in much better condition than the windswept ones on the surface. It's perfectly still here, and as quiet as space itself. What was this? Diz whispers reverently. Some kind of converger facility? And it feels so familiar. You remember this place from your dreams, and feel a throbbing sense of importance that is a bit unnerving. Something momentous happened to you here, or will happen to you here someday. You poke around a little, then call Utopia and give her your coordinates. She swings down on her glider with extra ones for you and Diz tethered behind it. You're happy you won't have to climb all the way back up. She whistles. Great find, kids. This place didn't show up in any of our aerial scans. Took me a while to find a route in. You look bushed. She says, I'll stick around to get some readings, but you head on back to the depot and get some rest. Don't worry, we aren't going to push on without you. I would hope not, given that I found it. There's a lot to explore here. I think there's still a whole place upwards I can go too. Maybe not. Maybe?
Shut up.
Oh, this is where we started.
Next song. Anthony Machine Gun Kelly.
I guess that's all of it.
I always say that.
The sun goes behind a cloud and you feel a light splattering of rain. It sizzles into the dry, hot ground around you, providing a little relief from the heat of the day. Then you realize you don't see a single cloud in the sky ahead of you, and it almost never rains in the western resting ridges, and the plants here rely on nighttime dew for moisture. Run. You bolt for cover with your hands thrown over your head. You don't even care what's up there. You just know that was no rain. Aw, I probably should have actually looked up. At least gotten info out of the exchange.
Oh, he won.
You investigate a weird squeaking noise, eventually following it to its source. An undulating swarm of sleek creatures are gathered on top of the cliff above you. You watch as they throw their tiny bodies off the edge, plummeting past you and out of sight. They scream and screech in excitement. Lemmings? You pick your way down the slope, finding a second herd of the miraculously unharmed weasels at the bottom. As you watch them, one lands on your head and, squeaking indignantly, goes to join the rest of its kin.
Yeah, it's the mango fish.
You hear the flapping of wings and look up. A whole colony of pink and orange Dorpsmoth cling to the rock overhead, nearly camouflaged. As the squealing weasels above reach a fever pitch, the Dorbs moth restlessly take off from their cliff and flutter around. You watch as one of the little creatures pitches off the edge of the cliff and lands square on a Dorbs moth back, sending them both plummeting to the bottom. As the large moth crashes fatally into the ground, the weasel curls its body and bounces harmlessly away, then scurries back to feed on its prey.
Charles
Ooh,
thinks
bounce
that's a frog.
weasels. You record the screeching on your holopalm. What a noise. Alright, I get to do one more.
Yeah.
A precarious natural land bridge drops down sharply on both sides here. You kick a rock over the side, but don't hear it hit the bottom. Do you cross? Very carefully. You shuffle across it slowly, examining the cracks and sticking to the solid places. You accidentally send a few more pebbles skittering over the edge, then think better them than me. Too worn out and tired to continue. Fair enough. I'm just curious if any of the other like first ones I got are of anybody else.
And beat shit all over them.
Doesn't look like it. The suns rise again after glow, heralding a new year. It's your 16th birthday. You wake in your new quarters, blinking into the watery sunlight. Dust motes float through the air, and you take a moment to enjoy the perfection of your bed while you listen to the sounds of the colony waking up outside. So much has happened in 1 year.
Oh shit, indeed.
Just a few short months ago, you thought your life was over, and now it's better than ever.
That is just
Well, that's not fair. There's plenty of food and the colony is safe. You even have your own bedroom. You're considering snoozing until your dad wakes you up when your reverie is interrupted by someone banging on the door. It's Nem! She bounds into your room and wraps you in the biggest, rib-crackingest hug possible, lifting you off the ground. Happy birthday, friendo, she exclaims. Am I the first? I ran all the way here so I could be the first. Your dad wakes up shortly after that and gives up your traditional birthday breakfast and gives you, and you order up. What the heck? My brain. And you order up your traditional birthday breakfast feast. He gives you a big squeezy hug and tells you he's proud of you. Thanks, Dad. Mars wants to talk. Where's Rex? Tange wants to talk. You spot Tangent leaning against the wall outside engineering. She's yawning, rubbing her eyes and staring off into space. She startles as you walk up. Oh, Selene, I was just taking a short break. Yawns are infectious. Join in and yawn too. Did you stay up all night too, she asks. I don't even remember when I last slept. It might have been a few days ago. You haven't slept in 2 days? More like 3, she replies, and then pauses for another jaw-cracking yawn. But as I said, I'm tired. Even my enhanced body has limitations. I already know this. I already knew that her augment was reduced sleep. I don't need it to sleep as much as other people. It's a genetic what's-it, she says foggily. You know, a DNA enhancement. I guess sometimes even I forget to do it. I should set myself a reminder. Hollow, add to schedule. Sleeping, nightly. 2300 for 3 hours. Her hollow palm emits a tone in response. Tangent nods sleepily. That should do it, she murmurs. Her eyes are practically closed. Find her someplace to take a nap. Tange follows you obediently into the engineering wing, too tired to protest. You slip into medbay to grab a blanket and a pillow off a shelf. By the time you return, Tange has already fallen asleep, curled up in an egg chair in the waiting area. You gently place a blanket over her, and she hums happily before going slack with much-needed sleep. Tange is stupid. Hug.
He's getting beat.
Yeah. Mars wants to talk to me, but does anyone else want to talk to me before I have to go talk to Mars? Doesn't look like it. Great. Hi, Mars. Mars and Nomi are bent over one of Nomi's sketchbooks. Mars is talking animatedly with expansive hand gestures. Nomi is nodding along and taking notes. No, 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 Mars exclaims. This neckline needs bolder lines, and down here, lots and lots of extra fabric. And make this part gold. I want it to scream, I don't have to work like everybody else. I'm only here to look beautiful and have people adore me. But we do have to work, Nomi pouts. Nanoprinting's restricted for these kind of materials. It costs kudos. Mars rolls her eyes. That's the point. Nomi huffs. Not everyone's got as many kudos as you, Marzipan, especially us Helios. We didn't have any at all when we landed. If I want to wear something other than uniforms, I usually trade or modeled clothes instead of printing new ones.
Sorry, it's only because other Matt.
Mars looks appalled. You trade clothes? You don't even sell them to each other for kudos? Nomi shrugs and tucks their hair behind their ear. It's just, some kids can't afford to print this kind of clothing, alright? So you're losing out on them as potential customers. So maybe instead you could design clothes that are pretty but also made from common materials so that everybody can have them? Nomi smiles brightly. Then maybe when you're in charge, you can get rid of kudos entirely. It doesn't seem right that we trade kudos for extra stuff when we're supposed to have only what we need anyways. Nomi packs up their sketchbook and leaves, and Mars turns to you with a thoughtful look. Oh, Nomi doesn't know that I was the one who started selling these things for kudos in the first place. My dad kept saying I shouldn't do that because hoarding kudos and treating them like currency will cause. She makes quotation marks in the air with her fingers. Wealth inequality. Do you think they might be right? Nomi's right. The Helios are broke. Oh, Mars says, tapping her chin. I mean, I knew the Helios were tragic, but I just thought they had terrible taste. You know, the uniforms and the haircuts? I didn't know it was because they were poor. I really don't think that kudos make everyone unequal. I really don't think that kudos make everything unequal, Mars continues. Like, you can always work harder if you want something nice, right? That's what I do. I see. I see. Mars looks genuinely troubled. It's great that we have everything we need, well, as long as there's not a weird disease or famine or whatever, but we're still poor, you know? She sighs. We're poor in culture. Like, yes, every colonist has a steaming pile of mashed trippet every morning, noon, and night, but if I want to watch a holovid that I haven't seen a million kajillion times... Mars puts her hands on her head. When we focus only on survival, who's making the holovids and the symphonies and the gourmet food? She throws her arms in the air and shouts, we have everything we need, but we're poor. Poor people don't care about art. Mars snaps her fingers. No, I've got it. I'm a genius. If the adults won't incentivize the creative class, we need to do it ourselves. We need to get the adults on board with adopting kudos and using it to pay for luxury goods instead of slaving away in the depot or the kitchens like people like instead of slaving away in the depot or kitchen, people like Nomi can be artisans. She grabs you by the shoulders. If we have an actual creative class, maybe we can get some culture on this stupid rock. I can't believe I never thought of it before, she says, clearly possessed by a beautiful vision. I'm the richest teenager in the colony, but what good is it if there's nothing to buy? Here I am, sitting on more kudos than I could ever use, and I could have been using it to kickstart the creative economy. I could be a patron of the arts. Mars releases you and pulls up the finances screen of her holopalm. You catch a glimpse of her balance, which is more kudos than you've ever made in a year at least. Yes, good, Mars says, thinking out loud. More than enough to start. She looks at you. Well, Solane, she says imperiously, you'll join me, right? Let's give away some kudos. Absolutely. Mars's eyes go wide as she sees 100 kudos land in her account. Ooh, daddy. I didn't even process what I was saying until I said it. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. She laughs, fixing you with a wicked smile. I didn't know you were so generous. Oh no! Oh, okay. Holy shit! Oh, there's more where that came from, baby. Mars throws back her head and laughs, delighted that you played along. Oh, aren't you fun, she says. I feel uncomfortable with the energy that I've created here. So is it the cheating on Dog Boy? That wasn't flirting! It didn't say it was flirting, it was just me being friendly. No, Dog Boy's still here. I just can't give him gifts or anything. Like, he doesn't want presents. His birthday is early pollen. And he said on his birthday he'd take a birthday cake, but that was all.
Actually, Soldier.
Go up. Fucking... Which, like, I can do. But not until pollen. Listen, I'm gonna be real. I'll end up with whoever. My only question is if I'm flirting with all of them, does that mean that I won't end up with any of them like it's in Stardew? I also like that this game allows you to switch everything mid-game, too. I appreciate that. Xenobotany. Surveyor Tonin found blup grass shortly after the colony landed on Vertumna. The waxy violet grass grows almost everywhere near the colony, and when you steep its roots, you get a deep purple tea. It tastes horrible, grassy and bitter, but it's a stimulant and mildly hallucinogenic, so the adults think it's great. They've been drinking it for years, with no ill effects, except for the overwhelming urge to stick out your tongue and say blech when you taste it. Yeah, good feature? Yeah, it's amazing. Like, also being able to rename your character anytime, because there are some people that play through games like this and are like, oh shit, I can't play this game anymore because it gives me the wrong XYZ pronouns, like how they refer to you, etc. You've been trying to cultivate new variants that don't taste as awful or have more potent stimulant or hallucinogenic properties. Maybe you'll even find some entirely new medical usage. You're ready to test a new strain. Tangent would probably appreciate a better stimulant, and Cal would appreciate a nicer trip. Who will be your test subject? Testing on Tangent. You bring Tangent a cup of freshly brewed Blep Tea 2.0 and ask her to give it a try. She swallows it down, no problem. She pounds back cups of Blep Tea all day. It's not like she needs the assistance to stay awake, but she says the stimulant helps her focus. After a while, you ask her to report on how she feels. I got an extraordinary amount of work done, she says, blinking rapidly, but I feel, you know, the voice? Like, my own internal voice feels much stronger, like, as if it were another person entirely sitting beside me. She tilts her head to the side. Yes, I know, she says to thin air. I will tell her about the tremors, thank you. Her eyes refocus as she looks at you again. I am also experiencing a higher than acceptable amount of muscle spasm, she says. I suggest crossbreeding the blebgrass with something that will act as an anticonvulsant. Huh, looks like this strain was a little too strong. Tan shakes her head. No, she exclaims. No, it's perfect. Don't destroy the strain. You should give the rest to me. Yes. Sure, have the last of it. Well, you were just gonna toss it anyway, and if anyone can handle it, Tange can. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Nice.
I did.
One more. Your dad shows you how to look at plant cells under a microscope and check for signs of diseases and how to identify different kinds of cells. You're kind of learning together. Here on Vertumna, the taxonomy he learned for classifying plants and animals is different. When comparing them to samples from Earth, Vertumnan plant cells have a structure far more similar to animals than they do plants. 27 out of 27. Nice. Now I am max stressed. Isn't this your birthday? Yes, it is. Rex is perched on a fence, his lunch forgotten in his lap as he hollers compliments at people passing by. That color looks great on you, he yells at someone. Have you been working out? He yells at another. He catches you watching and shoots you a goofy grin. Back on Earth, they used to call this catcalling, he says, shrugging. My way's better, I think. Hug! And, no, not Mars. I got you a present. Rex beams as you unveil his birthday cake. You remembered, he cheers, wrapping you in a big hug. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You find Rex in an empty space outside the lounge, setting up a construction holo projector and running through different projections of future buildings, taking notes on each. He looks up from his holopalm as you approach and bursts into a huge smile. Why, hey, Solone! What? Solane. Got my own name wrong. Rex jerks a thumb at his chest. You're looking at the newest member of the colony construction crew. I'm surveying the colony for places to build new private family quarters. People are going to want to raise families here soon. Isn't that real? Families? Yeah, Rex says, beaming with excitement, especially us Helios. We've been cooped up on a spaceship for too long, and you know, when people get grass under their feet and fresh air in their noses. He bumps his hip into yours with a whoop of laughter. They get frisky. Get ready for a baby boom. Houses are going to be in demand. Besides, he says, I think I kind of got an idea of what I want to contribute to the colony. I want to build a bar. A real one, not just a canteen. Nice decor, a space for live music, cushions, everywhere, fun drinks. Mars has been helping me with the details. He sighs dreamily. Can you imagine a place where the whole point is just to relax with your friends? That sounds like a great idea. I think so too, Rex says, spreading his hands wide. People need leisure time. We need time to connect with other humans. We're social creatures. We need our packs. All I want to do is help people connect with each other, you know? Rex says. I love building things. I love cooking things. I love making people happy. Coming together to create something is why we're alive. He gestures around. And I don't mean buildings. I mean, they're alright, but what I'm really into is everything that goes into making a building. It's more than just walls and a ceiling. It's an agreement between people that we're going to form a society. Never mind. That we're going to cooperate to make something bigger than ourselves, and that we're going to meet there in peace. Rex shakes his head, clearing his thoughts. Sorry, I'm just really passionate about this stuff, he laughs. This and hugs. We humans are also really good at hugs. There's gonna be an ad. It's okay. Rex rubs his thumb across his chin, thinking, hey, actually, can you help me? Can you find any mushwood sticks or logs you find? I want to start stockpiling them, so when I get approval to start building the bar, we're good to go. Of course I will. Rex bounces on his heels and launches into a huge hug. Thank you, he exclaims. I really appreciate it. If you find any, just bring them to me.
Put us in training so you don't get the fucking bug.
Cal wants to talk.
Try Ash.
It would be scary if I opened this once and this was just over here.
You're fucking cracked, bro.
I think he's the only one that wants to talk. Hey, Nomi, I have a present for you. Take.
Don't be mean to yourself like that.
Hey, Tanj, I have a present for you.
I just got my goal. I hate this fucking.
Oh, I thought thought you would like those. You had plans to hang out with Cal today, but when you arrive at the geoponics dome, it's worryingly dark inside. You fumble around in the red emergency lighting until all the lights come back on with a heavy ka-chunk of a breaker being clipped. You blink into the sudden blinding light until the figures of Cal and Chief Engineer Instance resolve themselves in your vision. Absolutely no more of that, young man, Instance scolds Cal as he cradles his hoverboard in his arms. The power grid is not your plaything. I understand, Auntie, Cal says. I'm sorry. Instance mutters to herself as she passes you. Honestly, all of this over a toy. Hey, Dudette, Cal greets you. Sorry, I meant to meet you outside after work, but he looks down at his hoverboard. My board wouldn't start, and I figured maybe it was out of juice, but when I plugged it in, it threw off all these sparks, and then the whole power grid shut down.
Just don't let him move.
Oh! Cal's shoulders slump. I was gonna ask Dr. Instance to take a look at it, but she just told me she doesn't have time to fix a dumb toy. Sorry, Cal, that sucks.
Behind you, fucking
Yeah, Cal sighs. It's just... Cal rubs his eyes. We've only got a few things left from when we were kids, you know? Everything else is broken, or gone, or... dead. It's always kind of sad when a piece of old technology needs to be retired, but Cal seems to take this one harder than most. He hugs the hoverboard to his chest and excuses himself, not wanting to hear your goodbye. Not waiting to hear your goodbye. Damn, wish I had engineering to help you, bud. But I am stupid. I've committed to the bimbo lifestyle. Actually, I haven't, because I have a decent amount of biology now. I have to rest, though. It's annoying. I don't even think I can rest here. Second month of dust. Wait.
I'm about to have a mild too. I'm dead. Playing Tracer because
Visit the spa. Oh, memories to forget. I'm gonna relax in the lounge because apparently I get friendship with Rex if I do that. You're relaxing after hours when Aunt Anne pops her head into the lounge. The kitchen, she announces in an artificially sweet voice, is looking for someone to help with part-time cooking duties. Someone young, someone responsible, someone organized. Someone, she stares pointedly at the teens in the room, who might have too much free time on their hands. I'll do it! She bustles over to you. You'll be perfect, Soleil, she says, hugging you, then loudly to the others in the room. She declares, I'm glad somebody around here is responsible enough to put in their share of the work. Everyone else ignores her, shifting awkwardly. No one wants to disappoint their auntie. Aunt Anne gestures towards the nearby cafeteria and tells you to come by next week so she can show you the ropes. Hell yeah. You're woken by the buzzing of your holopalm. It's a colony-wide alert. You rub your eyes and ponder the thickness of the air seeping into your bedroom through the open veranda door. It's an ominous but beautiful sight, the seasonal pale pink haze that has turned a deep fuchsia with scintillating silver sparkles floating through it. The shimmer. Thankfully, you've all been inoculated against the shimmer because this looks like a bad year for airborne spores. To be safe, you stay inside and seal your doors and windows tight. You spend the time playing holo games with your dad. After a couple days, the pollen fog passes without incident. I bet you if we hadn't found the shimmer thing, that my dad would be dead.
Think Reaper just teleported somewhere nearby.
So,
They come out the backside.
back in space, cooking involved programming ration machines and putting dishes in the laser-matic dishwasher, because water was too precious to clean dishes with. But now you're growing more real food and trying to figure out how to cook with it. The cafeteria kitchens are bright and full of good smells. There's always something baking or boiling or frying. You take a deep breath in and just hold all the deliciousness in your lungs. Chief Steward Anne, known to the kids as Auntie Seton, is in charge of everything in the living quarters, running the children's creche, coordinating the cleaning bots, and of course, cooking for the whole colony. It's a lot of work, but she's good at delegating to all the kids she has raised here, including you. She's a big believer in learning by trying and doesn't mind if a few dinners are ruined in the process. It looks like you're on your own this morning, Aunt Anne says, welcoming you to the kitchen. Don't worry, though. We'll start you off with something easy. She shows you the kitchen nano printers. Just press this button and the ration machine will spit out a freshly pressed cake of soy rations. It's not tasty, but it is nutritious. Then she shows you to the range. A large pot of brown stew is bubbling away. Here's where the real magic happens, she says proudly. She takes a ladle and spoons up some of the stew so you can have a taste. See? For this stew, we added homegrown veggies and spices. This is what I love about cooking, she says proudly. Turning raw ingredients into something better just by adding a little bit of work and a lot of love. Just like raising children. How about you, Selene? Why do you want to work in the kitchens? It's like a puzzle. There's a science to cooking that fascinates you, adding energy, dissolving things, forming and breaking molecular bonds to make something new. It's so cool. You tell this to Auntie Anne, and she smiles indulgently. Sounds like I'm going to lose you to engineering, she says. I'm happy to have you for now, though. Aunt Anne sets you up with a few basic kitchen tasks. Wait. I think I'm adding an IE because of the store, like the mall pretzels. I don't think it's actually said Auntie at any point. Oh, there it has. Okay. I'm not crazy. It did. Okay. I was like, damn, I just really want pretzels.
Is he jumping in by himself? I don't know why he did that jump.
Aunt Anne sets you up with a few basic kitchen tasks and leaves you to it. If you need help, I'll be just around the corner, she says, or you can ask Congruence for advice. She has every recipe and method you could ever need, and she's an excellent teacher. You quickly have your hands full with the sheer volume of food it takes to feed 100 people. Workers from the canteen shuttle back and forth to pick up trays of soy rations and pot of stew at regular intervals. Somehow you keep up. You poke your head into the canteen at lunchtime to see what people think about the food. Seems like they like it. Maybe you're cut out to be a chef. 8.
Oh my god. Just one at me.
Nice. I was like, that has to be the best I can do.
Darkrai is the most annoying no-skill fucking character. They should definitely stop giving it to Kiefer, but... I know.
I think this is actually where I'm going to stop for today. I think we're at a good spot, halfway-ish through 16. We've only got a couple more years left, scarily enough. I need to make better friends with Rex. I don't know how to, though.
Yeah, just pop me, just give it to me. I can hit. Yeah.
I'm not set up really to romance him, so I guess I have backups.
I just decimated that fucking dude!
You're 16 years old and stay calm when others get frazzled. You've got a knack for finding hidden things or staying hidden when you need to. And you know all sorts of things about animals. That's cool. I have my own little bio. Probably based off of this stuff. Perception and organizing probably is the knack for hidden things. Staying hidden. might also be perception, and knowing all sorts of things about animals is pretty self-explanatory. Alright. Cool.
He's dead now.
I'm gonna go ahead and boop-a-da-boop.
Don't show her, no, don't show her. No.
I will not be here tomorrow, obviously, because I streamed today. The game that I would have streamed, tomorrow. Wait. Yep.
Alright, get it.
But I will be here Friday and Saturday. And Saturday, hopefully, at least. Saturday is going to be a long stream, and I'll have to figure out what I want to play. I did just get Kirby and the Forgotten Lands, and I'm debating playing that as much as I can, like, stand it for as long as possible. So I think that would be fun. And then next Friday is going to be weird. I have to figure out what I want to do with that, because Tears of the Kingdom, the new Legend of Zelda game, comes out, and I have that pre-ordered. So if possible, I'd love to do a stream with it on Friday, and then maybe push Overwatch to Saturday, but we will see. We will see. Whoa, wrong one. That was the BRB screen I almost put up. That would work, but I won't be RB. I would be back in many hours. All right.